And we are live right now with comedian JL Cauvin, who has in the last, can you hear me, pal?
I can hear you very well. Thank you.
In the last, let me put some headphones on, make sure we don't have any issues. In the last day or so, 2 days, has gone absolutely viral, JL.
46 hours, not that I'm counting.
And 46 hours ago, you posted a video of you doing what you do best, a Trump impression. And by the way, a lot of people do a good impression. Your content, it's what you're saying that is so much funnier than all the rest of these hacks, including myself. So congratulations. You've been making these videos, though, for I feel like maybe a week or two. And what happened?
Well, obviously, like any good comedian, all you need is a break. And for me, my career has been particularly jinxed. I can go back to, when Patrice O'Neill asked me to open for him, and I did, and I was looking forward to building that relationship, and then he had a stroke and died 4 months later. I can point to many things that my career has almost broken through. But this one was the big one, and this is how I knew I was going to make it, because I said, we are now in the middle of a global pandemic. And I said, if there's any time that a person with a jinxed career is going to shine, it's going to be during an apocalyptic loss of life.
So congratulations.
Yeah, we're all real proud in my home.
All right. So JL, what are just real quick, you have gone viral during the virus with this video. Before this video went huge, you had about 4,000 followers on Twitter?
I did.
And now 46 hours later, how many new followers?
26,000. But importantly, among those, I found some male porn star and a female dominatrix are among the army, the JL Army now.
That's fine.
So
that's fine. Take whoever
allow
you can
me
get.
to announce that I am now I will start using terms like sex positive to embrace the larger tent that is the JL Army. I'll need a new name. The Corona Cauvins, maybe. All right. the COVID Cauvins.
Sounds good. We're gonna get the president. I know a lot of people could care less about JL Cauvin. They really want to talk to the president. We're gonna bring the president in here in a moment, I know. But again, over 20,000 new followers. This video has now been viewed by over 3 million people, or times about 1 million of them were just by me because I've been enjoying it so much.
Yeah, get that lotion ready. It was 46 hours ago. Posted it. I've now been in. It's crazy because part of me genuinely believes, and anybody who knows me knows that I've been way overdue.
Yes.
And I've had some videos go viral. I had obviously the Louis C.K. impression go viral. So obviously his career.
Not like this. Yeah.
No, not like this. Obviously Louis C.K.'s career had to end because it led to a modest success for me. That's the JL jinx I'm talking about.
Can I, as per usual, take a little bit of credit? How long have you and I known each other? I feel like I've known you since you started in comedy.
A year or two after I came to New York, I met you.
And from the very beginning, like Amy Schumer, I recognized your talent. I thought you were hilarious from the very beginning. Is that fair to say?
Not only is that fair to say, that is 100% correct.
Also, I've done everything I can to try to promote you, and
Pete, you put me on your show. You gained me access to a new fan base, and then your show got canceled. Do you see? This is why it required a pandemic level, apocalyptic event, because finally the immovable object has met the unstoppable failure. And we are at this great pandemic crossroad where my career can finally flourish. I joked. I said on my other podcast, Righteous Prick, 2 weeks ago, I did a Bane voice because he has this line in The Dark Knight Rises where he says to Batman, you adopted the darkness. I was born into it. And I said, that's like me. I said on my podcast 2 weeks ago, I said, something tells me I'm going to thrive in this isolated, sad, depressing environment that we're all in. And I have. It is... Bane has proven correct.
Well, I'm really happy for you, regardless of
what. And thank you to all your fans who, there are a few fan bases, your fan base, the Black Guy Who Tips, has been very helpful to me. That's another podcast. It's
Oh,
the real name of the podcast.
I didn't realize that. I was like,
But
who is
they
this
have
guy? I'm just going to laugh at your racism. But you can do it because you're half black. Go ahead.
exactly but there have been some fan bases like yours and like his that have kept me just sustained enough, just enough views, just enough followers where you say, all right, it's nice to see. And when you have not as many fans, you can really go, yeah, no, I'm very proud of all my fans because I know all 12 of them by name. It's like Jesus and his disciples. It's like there's a real sense of community when your fan base is tiny.
Before we go to the president, speaking of Jesus and his disciples, why was this video in particular? You've made a bunch of these. Do you think such a hit? Was it Trump criticizing God, Easter, and also what kind of criticism have you gotten from the right and the left on this video?
Sure. Well, I got a text from a friend before I was going out to walk my dog, and he said, I can't believe Trump just said he's going to bring back the economy by Easter. That's insane. And I was about to leave with my dog, and I'd done a few of these. Like, I've done Trump videos, but I've been doing these kind of selfie videos just from home, like not bothering with makeup or wigs and just going, the voice is so good.
Yep.
Let's see. And it's a break from work. And when he sent that to me, I said, oh, if he just said that and he had just said it or tweeted it, I can do something in like 2 minutes. Let me just step into the room. We'll take the dog out in a few minutes. And I just went in there, Jay-Z style, off the dome, as us 90s hip hop heads say. And
my wife asked me, does he write this all out? Does he have writers? I'm like, no, this dude is that funny. Always has been.
Yeah. So it was just off the cuff. It's kind of crazy because people are like, amazing writing, dude. And I was like, I did that literally. Like I went into the room and just riffed.
Yeah.
And I think it was the combination of things. I think it was that you're tagging Easter, and Trump just said Easter. In other words, you're not trying to piggyback off something that went viral 8 hours ago. Like, you're at the moment when he just says it, thanks to my friend John, who texted it to me. But then I think the fact that I had a flannel shirt on, also just a coincidence. I like flannel, but I just happened to be wearing a flannel. I threw the red MAGA hat on. And I think a lot of people either listened to it and thought this is one of the best satires I've ever seen, but I got several hate messages from people who I then checked, and I was like, oh, you must be progressive. You're progressive. You didn't watch the video. You saw a guy
didn't even watch it.
with a tweet that said, God only saved one person on Easter. Trump's going to save the whole economy on Easter. And so for some people, it's like, my God, the maggots are insane. So they never watched it. And they see the flannel, the red shirt, and like, they're like, fuck. Like, I got messages that were like, fuck you. And I said, it's a parody. And I was intentionally nice in my reply. And one woman blocked me. I said, ma'am, I don't know why it's a parody. You should watch the video. And she blocked me.
That's great. Well deserved. Okay, so before we get the president, I just want to make sure everybody knows, if you have a question for President Trump, you can text it to me on the screen here. You can write it on. You should have access to it. Not everybody does. Maybe you have to log in. I'm not quite sure how the software program works. But you can send a message for the president, a question for the president, and I will ask him. But I think it's time. I think it's time we get President Trump in here. Anything else you want to say to all your new fans?
Thank you. But I have to say a shout out to the people from the various places like Stand Up with Pete, Black Guy Who Tips, Corolla Show, Lebitard, all the people who followed me before I became big. I will not remember any of you.
Ha, well done.
No, I will. I will remember. Thank you. So it's nice to have, kind of a bigger following now, but I'm way too cynical and bitter to forget those who sustained me. Like Terry Schiavo, you were my life support. When I wanted to pull the plug on my comedy career.
By the way, you look like Terry Schiavo fucked Adam Sandler. Okay, so let's go get can you get the president? Enough with you, J.L. Cauvin.
All right, thank you guys. Be back in a minute.
All right.
Well, I won't be, but
All right. There's the music. Can you hear it? Can everybody hear the music? Hail to the chief, everybody. Might not be the most appropriate music. Maybe this will be better. Can you hear that music, Twitter? Can you hear it? Can you hear this? I think this might be a little bit more appropriate for our guest, the president. How's that? Can you hear that? Here comes President Trump. Been doing daily press conferences, the president. It's weird that the president has an Obama-Biden magnet on his fridge. We're waiting on the president. I hear him.
Testing. What do
there
we
he
got?
is.
We put in these.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump. Sir, thank you so much.
We're doing so great. As you can see, it's a beautiful day, by the way, in my New Jersey property. So we're out there getting in 9 holes.
Yeah,
and we also played some golf.
So you were out golfing and just came in. I really appreciate you joining me again. Thank you. I do have to start by asking you, while we were waiting for you to join us, Mr. President, we looked in the fridge, in the space that you're in there, in the White House, I guess. On the fridge, there's an Obama-Biden magnet, which seemed pretty strange.
Well, to be honest, even though I'd like to, at the country club, some of the resources are a little tight, so I had to go into one of our black workers' quarters. And obviously, it didn't come as a surprise. I mean, we love the blacks for Trumps, but it didn't surprise me that an African American would be a supporter of Biden. But we'll be dealing with him shortly. Maybe he can collect some of this great unemployment that we're going to be giving our great hard workers.
So you're actually sitting in the quote black quarters of an employee. Is that what you said?
Well, we don't call them the black quarters, but. African American area, AAA. We call it the AAA.
Okay, sir. Well, listen, you had a video that's gone viral. Over 3 million people have seen it, where you actually you talked about that we're going to get back to work on Easter. You've been saying that, but also you were
well, excuse me. I'm a great Christian person of Bible. We have great Bible things of the Bible, biblical nature.
What is your favorite passage of the Bible, and what do you prefer?
I think that I'm on record as saying I don't like to play favorites with such a great book.
Well, which book do you prefer, the Old or the New Testament?
There's various things of the testaments. You got to like your testaments. There's great testaments all around. And I think it's, in the first testament, you got, some great, you have some Jewish people great at negotiating, making deals.
Oh, boy.
And then in the second one, you get the other stuff, you get the Jesus, the materials about Jesus, and, very good lessons there too. So it's, it's very tough when you're trying to pick a good Bible versus bad Bible, but there's many testaments. We like many testaments, and we support all the testaments.
Again, if you have any questions for the president, you can message them to me right now. We have them for a few more minutes. So in this video that you made,
tremendous. I mean, you've seen it. It's like breaking the internet, And I didn't need Kim Kardashian's, butt to do it. Be nice. We'll say butt.
Okay, but anyway, you said you were critical of God, quote, himself, which seemed really audacious. You said he hasn't always been. What was it that you were critical of God?
Well, we said he's a good God. There's done many strong things. There's great strength. If you're talking about God, you're talking about, we're talking about some of the great strength probably in history. But, if you look at the total record, it's not like he's undefeated. Okay, this isn't Rocky Marciano. This is a guy who's had some not so great things done on his watch.
Okay. You also said he only brought one person back, and it was his son, and you thought that was biased, whereas you're going to bring millions of people back to work on Easter, which seemed like you were comparing yourself to God, and that you were...
No. What I was saying was, if I do that, if we can bring back tens of millions of people to work on Easter, then there's no comparison. God did the one thing, he did I bring back my son. It's like, I would bring back, if I had a son, I would bring him back. But obviously I just have a beautiful daughter named Ivanka. And
you have 3 sons.
Who are they? Well, we love Ivanka's. Let's, we'll focus on her later. We don't need to talk about the sons.
But okay, so let me ask
He
you.
brought back, excuse me, he brought back his son, which was like a nice thing. It was a nice, he did, it was a strong move, but it was one person. He brought back like
Right.
one person.
Uh,
I'm bringing back tens of millions of people.
yeah, I don't
So
think.
it's like, I don't think people should have to honestly, when they say stub their toe and they go, oh my God, you might want to say, oh my Trump, if I can pull this off.
Okay, I don't think we will. Not for that reason. You also, I got to ask you, what do you say to Americans, Mr. President, who right now are legitimately scared and terrified?
Well, I say, first of all, that's a nasty question.
What?
And well, it is.
Why?
Okay. Because, well, here's the thing. I can
It's a
tell you the
softball.
mag,
It's a
excuse,
softball
excuse
question.
me,
It's an
excuse
it's an
me,
easy. Excuse me. That is a simple question for any leader to answer.
excuse me.
Excuse me.
You're not a leader. I'm the leader. I'll tell you what a leader can do.
Excuse me.
I will tell you what a leader can do because I'm a leader. You're a guy. I mean, I respect the fact that you have a picture of a smoking hot chick behind you. So obviously you can't be too bad.
That's my daughter. That's my daughter. That's a picture of my 15-year-old daughter. What are you talking about?
Well, you know what they say, old enough for Epstein, old enough for me.
Good
But
God, sir.
okay, well, if we can get back to the subject, we'll
Good.
talk
No,
about your daughter.
that's horrific what you just said.
Excuse me, we'll talk about your daughter later. Okay.
Excuse
Now,
me,
excuse
you
me.
monster.
You asked me a question, and you're being extremely nasty and
Well,
rude.
you just
I paid you a compliment.
no,
Okay.
not in my world. That's a threat, sir.
Fine. Your horrible looking daughter. How about that? Is that better? Do you like that?
Yeah, I do prefer that actually a little bit coming from you.
Well, we'll see.
No, we won't see you, motherfucker.
Well, maybe we'll see. We're doing things. We're talking to people.
What?
We're going to have a lot of things. And I got to tell you, here's the important thing. Our people, the real Americans, the great MAGA people, we're not scared. No fear. We've got the gun. We've got the bikers for Trump. We've got the cops. We've got the military. We've got the black guy for Trump. We've got the gay who's confused but really likes low taxes for Trump. We've got that group.
Yeah.
We've got the angry Latina woman in Arizona for Trump. So we're getting all the groups, and they're not afraid because we have the guns. We have the tough people. We're going to be fine. So maybe it's the blue state, the libs, the Dems, like I assume you are. They need to maybe get their things together and figure out things because we're going to be fine. The real Americans will be fine.
I don't even know how to respond to what you just said. The real Americans, whoever they are. Okay, Mr. President.
Whites.
What?
Who?
I'm sorry?
What was that?
Mr. President, I do have to ask you.
Ask away. We're not afraid of questions. We're calming the people. It's called the healer in chief.
Okay,
You ever hear that? The healer
No,
in chief. This is
not
a
in
new term
reference to you.
they made up. New term they made up.
A
That's what
question
we're doing.
from
We're healing.
question from the audience at Nelson Tejada says, which
What was the last name?
Tejada.
Well, we'll see.
You still want to take the question?
Well, we'll take it. We'll see if also maybe Ice wants to take him, but ask the question. Ice Ice Baby. And I'm not talking about vanilla, although we do like the vanilla people.
His question is, which guns do you suggest we shoot the virus with?
Well, we got our great AR-15. That's going to be a very powerful weapon against the virus. I think Fauci, Dr. Fauci, he's starting to get on my nerves a little bit, but I think we've had discussions of whether we can shoot the virus, and we're discussing certain options. And the AR-15 is so powerful that I think it might be a great first step.
What is it about Dr. Fauci or any of the other experts that is so troubling to you?
Well, Fauci seems to want to come out there and, contradict me and make himself into a star. And it's like, you maybe you want to know your role, as the great Rock said, maybe know your role and shut your mouth.
Okay. Let me ask you, though, you have said many times that we didn't see a thing coming, and it's always a thing that there have been entire departments of universities and organizations dedicated to seeing coming, from hurricanes to pandemics. We absolutely have been preparing every country in the world, and universities and med schools have entire departments dedicated to predicting and preparing for a pandemic. Why would you say we didn't see this coming? Of course, we saw and have prepared for things like this.
Well, I think
are you
that
okay?
it's
You're sniffing a lot.
nope, no there's no sniffing to be. We've got a.
Are you feeling all right, sir?
Excuse me, just trying to
Have you been?
answer. We're going to answer the question. We're going to answer the great question.
Are you having
I
shortness
think
of
that
breath?
nobody saw this. Excuse me, nobody saw this coming. Nobody saw it coming. Nobody knew it was coming. Nobody's even ever seen a woman come. So we've got a lot of mysteries here. And I think it's important that Obama failed us. He didn't prepare us well. And we're doing a great job. You know, we shut down China. We said, China, you can't come here. No China. And by the way, we've decided to name it a more PC term because I'm sure you were among those people who didn't like the
calling
it the China virus.
It's the definition of racism, calling it the Chinese.
And that's why we're calling it we're actually calling it the yellow Godzilla fever now. So we've decided to be a little more politically correct.
That's worse. That's actually worse. It's actually more racist. I wish I could say I was surprised, but I'm not. That's more racist than Chinese virus, what you just said.
Well, now we have to disagree. Now you're saying everything is racist.
Well, most of the things that you say in reference to any minority are racist. You're the living embodiment of a racist, sir.
If by least racist person you've ever met, then yes, we can go with that.
Okay. Well, listen, I know your time is short. I appreciate you.
Got to get back out there and play the back nine.
Yeah. Okay. That is President Trump, and you've got to listen to his podcast, Making Podcasts Great Again. Of course.
It's a great show. We're going to be unveiling some new content. That's what they call it. They call it content. And the content will make you content. How about that? It's called Words. And we're going to do that. So Making Podcasts Great Again. It's a great show available where the pod shows are. And it's available at Trump Pod on the Twitter, which I dominate.
Yeah, you do. All right, let me play you off, sir. Here's your music that I think is most appropriate. Hail to the Chief, huh? That's what this is called.
This is Hail to the Chief for tough leaders. I like it.
President Trump. All right, get back out there on the golf course. And please, by all means, drink a bottle of COVID-19 and prove how strong you are.
Very strong. I had a Brazilian stripper spit in my mouth, and she was COVID positive. That's how strong my system is.
Goodbye, sir. Thank you, everybody.